While most of the snow may be behind us, the Severe Weather Shelter Network is going strong all year long, and they help protect homeless people from those cold temps as we head throughout the year. We had a chance to sit down with the executive director of the Severe Weather Shelter Network, Lynn Ann. Take a look. Our overnight temps are still incredibly cold here in Colorado, and you and your organization, the Severe Weather Shelter Network, you do a lot to help our homeless population on these cold nights. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
Okay. Severe Weather Shelter Network is its primary purpose is to prevent people from freezing to death. So we have a mission statement that says that we provide emergency overnight shelter for people living on the streets on life-threatening winter nights. And so what that means is that when overnight temperatures are 32 degrees or colder and wet, maybe with snow, or 20 degrees or colder and dry, that mobilizes our shelter opportunities. People in Jefferson County and West Arapahoe County.
Wow, that's incredible work you guys are doing. And to give us a better understanding of just how many people your network is impacting, tell us how many people you support each year.
It's been growing every year. We just completed our 7th shelter season, and this year sheltered 493 individuals. Last year, 463. So we're hanging right around that 500 mark.
In terms of your organization specifically, how do you guys differ from the other support systems and networks that are out there?
We are a very different shelter system in that we utilize church buildings, and all of our shelter sites are staffed by volunteers. So I mentioned that we're in Jefferson County and West Arapahoe County. We've divided that up into 3 different regions. So it's Arvada, Lakewood area, and then the Inglewood, Littleton, Sheridan, Tri-Cities area. And so on any given shelter night, we have 3 host sites that are open to provide shelter, giving us a capacity of 105 shelter beds. Part of what makes us really different is that we limit the number of people. We max out at 35 shelter guests on a given night, and that's helpful in a number of ways. One is that it's a small enough number of people that it allows for a real community setting. It gives our volunteers a feeling of being able to manage and keep track of 35 people. And for the people that are sheltering, it helps them not feel claustrophobic, honestly, because they don't normally shelter congregately. They camp individually.
We're coming out of our colder months, and when those cold overnight temps aren't top of mind for everybody, you all still need to fundraise. So let's talk about that year-round need.
Yeah, so we just came out of 40 Hands in 40 Days. This is the 2nd year that we participated with them. And that campaign began March 2nd. So it wasn't too far into the campaign when COVID-19 blew up. But we had set a $20,000 goal for that campaign and still concluded with $17,000. So super appreciative of that. In the summer and spring months, because we have a tendency to not be as important, I guess, we're not sheltering. People don't understand that we still have funding needs. So for instance, right now, as we're continuing in this COVID season, we have volunteers that are standing up outreach events on a regular basis to provide emergency supplies for people that are on the streets. And so many of those people are our guests, but we've been meeting other people who are experiencing homelessness, and they're just really grateful for those supplies. So that's part of what we're doing right now.
And you all have received a pretty significant amount of help from the 40 Hands program. Why don't you tell us about that as well?
Yeah, we really appreciate the 40 Hands program. What they provide to those organizations that participate is pretty amazing. They do a lot of marketing in social media and through organizations like yours, Channel 9 and some other television stations and radio stations, and they really promote the organizations that are a part of the 40 Hands in 40 Days campaign. And that means a lot to us.
And as we wrap up here, why don't you tell folks how they can get involved if they want to volunteer, donate, just tell us what you need.
Well, we have been contemplating a variety of things since, COVID it's a life changer in a lot of ways. We had already been contemplating, how do we do what we do better? And one of the things that we have discerned is that it would be better if we owned our own buildings. We don't. We borrow church buildings for shelter. Had we owned our own building, we would have been able to stand up shelter after the COVID lockdowns. But because we don't, we didn't have the capacity to make changes to the building to allow us to do that. So looking ahead, we're asking, gosh, is there a small congregation somewhere that maybe needs a little assistance and wouldn't mind partnering with us in that capacity that would give us essentially ownership of their building? That's one. Financial is always a deal, especially coming into these months. And volunteer capacities always exist, but looking ahead to next fall, we will need overnight hosts and team leads and drivers. We always need those roles fulfilled.
Support the Severe Weather Shelter Network to provide refuge, relationship, and restoration to those who need it most. Learn more by going online, swshelternetwork.com, or by calling 720-515-9313.